Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Austin Keur of Zeeland East Baseball. How's it going?
Good, Casey. How are you?
Doing well. So, I know I don't know if the season started for you guys. I know with this week being spring break and all that, I know there are teams that are out currently and, or then there are games being played, but
Mhm.
where are you guys at right now? And
Yeah, so our first game technically was supposed to be yesterday, but the weather in Zeeland, Michigan has not been very cooperative. So our game got canceled yesterday, got rescheduled for later in the season. So we are entering spring break with no games under our belts, which is a little concerning, but it's something we've dealt with before, and we come back right into conference play. So something it would have been nice to have a game under our belt, but weather happens and you can't control it.
Yeah. So really just you're to to come into this, this year, your senior season, first off, how excited are you for this year?
Good. I'm very excited. I feel there's no pressure on me because I am committed to play college baseball. So I think this is a year that I can go out there, have a chip on my shoulder, and just play free, like play like there's no one watching me, play how I've always wanted to play, and just having no pressure of anyone judging me. Just go out there and play the game I love.
Yeah. So just remind everybody what position, or why don't you tell everyone what position you play?
I play center field, so right in the middle of the outfield.
Okay. So, what's have you always been an outfielder? What's that been? What kind of drew you to that?
Yeah, no, ever since probably 9 or 10 I started transferring to the outfield. It's just kinda I'm also a lefty, so it kinda just demotes me out to the outfield almost immediately just because lefties don't play the infield. But I think it's just one of those things I've always enjoyed. I like running around and making an impact out there. I'm real good at communicating, so it's just kind of a good spot for me to be. I'll continue playing that in college, whether that's center field or left or right. It's just I love being out there, so it's just something I enjoy.
Yeah. When you look at this team, just kind of talk about this team this year and what's kind of expected out of you guys.
Yeah, so I think the target is on our back this year. Last year going 37-4, losing in the regional semis last year to Madawan. We're losing key piece in Easton Remming, who's having a
Yep.
great season at LCC. But I think this year, so Trevor Roddy last year, phenomenal player for us, committed to Western Michigan. He hurt his arm last year and couldn't pitch at all this year or last year. So he's a key piece that we're getting back this year. He's 86, 88 as a lefty, so it's super nice for us. Another big pitching hitter for us is Maxwell Salas. He's going to Northwood, and he's just been consistently upper 80s on the mound for us, touched 90 a couple times. I just think this year is going to be full of like getting ready for the playoffs. We definitely schedule our schedule is around harder teams this year. Last year, I don't think we had the competitiveness in our schedule that led up to the playoffs. So this year, we're going down to Portage Northern for a tournament, go over to Whitehall. We're spending the night in the east side of Michigan. We're playing Woodhaven, Trenton, and Wyandotte. That'll be three incredible games for us, especially getting towards the end of the year. So this year is just going to be getting ready for the playoffs and making a deeper push because especially having 14 seniors on a baseball team, that leadership is there. And it's just we've all been experienced. We just got to all put it together at this point.
Okay. So I know you mentioned some of where your teammates are going to go. You said during the interview that you're also committed to
Yeah.
college next year. Of course, you're heading to Kalamazoo College, a pretty successful program in itself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
why KZoo?
So KZoo, every time I went down there, I just felt so included. Like it's just one of those places where I went down there and I was like, this is home. Like this is where I want to be. Like it just like it's a different culture from Zeeland, Michigan. So I wanted to be a little out of my comfort zone. Baseball team, obviously the success is there, like you said, winning that MIAA championship last year and then having a successful start to this season. Coach Ott was one of the biggest reasons I did pick down there. He is a phenomenal coach. He's exactly who I like to play under, competitive, gritty, scores runs. It's just the players down there as well welcome me with open arms. I just think it's somewhere I'm going to be able to go and prosper immediately and make an impact.
Okay, so next talk about the next few weeks. I don't think you've had spring break yet. I know you're
No,
currently
so yeah, so spring break, I'm leaving on Friday for spring break. So spring break is going to be this coming week. Then we immediately hop into a gauntlet of baseball games. So we open our season with Union. So conference series there. Then we play a single against Holland Christian, who is much improved from last year. Very good baseball team. It'll be great for us. And I believe we go straight down to Portage Northern, like I said, for that tournament. Play Portage Northern in Vicksburg. So that'll be two incredible matchups as well. And then next week, I'm pretty sure we play Wyoming, another conference game, which is just gets us ready for the weekend. And then I'm pretty sure it's that Whitehall tournament, like I said. We also play Bay City Glen, who is another successful baseball program. So super excited to play against them as well. So
Okay.
I think first 2 weeks is 13 games almost.
Yeah. I know a lot of teams do stuff on spring break, together where they go down to somewhere like
Mhm.
warm, like Florida, South Carolina, or something like that.
Yeah.
What's kind of like if you guys aren't doing anything, how are you guys gonna, make sure you stay in baseball shape and all that?
Yeah, so a lot of the boys are hanging out together on spring break. It's going to be a lot of accountability between them, between our pitchers to throw flat grounds, keep your arm loose. I think hitting is going to be a little bit of a struggle, obviously, because we don't bring your bats not technically down to spring break. It's a little harder to travel with. But last year we did do a spring break trip down to Cocoa Beach, and that was very successful for our success last year. We ended up coming right out of the gates hot, started 19-0, I believe. It was just something to get our eyes right, warm weather, and just be able to start the season on a good note.
How do you mentally get ready for a game?
Mentally, I just got to get in my zone. I'm ready to go out there and play. I know I'm a big team player, as in like I know these people got my back. So like something doesn't go my way, I know 8 other guys in the lineup can do something for me. So I try not to be more of an I player. I try to be more team oriented, and these boys got my back. I've known these guys since I was 8 or 9 years old, so I just know they're never going to let me down. So I go into the mindset of just my team's going to have me in any way I can help. I'll help.
Okay. And really, you talked about the gauntlet of the schedule out in. There's some pretty good teams on the west side of the state.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so what's it going to be like when you guys get all back for spring break as we really heading into the season? Obviously, the weather can affect a lot of different things, especially when we get to April. But
Yeah.
what is that going to be like as you head into a lot of games?
Yeah, I think our team's ready. This year we are very deep pitching staff wise, which I think is something we almost lacked last year because I think Easton and Max last year kind of just carried our team on the back. I think this year we have a lot of developed pitchers, especially senior heavy, that are going to help us out a bunch. So I think going into conference play, especially against like the Mona Shores and Reese Puffer, like in Zeeland West, it's just like those teams are good teams. So like you need to have pitching that can go 3 games and play a tournament on the weekend. So one of the east side, when we go to the east side for Detroit, we come back straight into Reese Puffer. So having this deep pitching staff is going to be able to get us by that first game of Reese Puffer and help us out to get to the next couple of games. So I just think pitching is our one of our bigger strengths this year, which is really nice for us.
All right. Before we let you go, let's get to know you a little bit, Austin. How about that?
All right.
All right. Favorite player growing up?
Favorite player growing up, it's got to be Ken Griffey.
Okay. Center fielder. Yeah, that
Yep.
makes
I know I'm a little biased towards him, but there's just something about him when I grew up that I just was like, I love this player.
baseball superstitions.
Baseball superstition. So growing up, it was one white sock and one black sock. Now every game I have to run to a certain spot in center field and touch it. It's a little different than everyone else in the team, but I have to go touch a certain spot in center field before every game.
Nice. Um, gum, sunflower seeds, or neither.
Ooh, both. So obviously, I'm a double bubble guy for baseball. I think it loses the flavor way too quick, which is really unfortunate. But if there's some in the candy bag, I will have that. Seeds, ooh, I'm a huge dill pickle seed. Dill pickle or ranch is my go-to. But basically, anything I can get my hands on, I'm gonna eat. I just love having seeds in the outfield because if I have nothing to do, at least I can chew on those.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
finally, what is one thing that people do not know about you?
One thing that people do not know about me. Ooh. I'd say growing up, I traveled a lot. Like when I tell people I've been to Las Vegas 7 times almost, it's like, wow, but like had an aunt and uncle that lived out there. I think that's my go-to. They don't know about me. So I just did a bunch of traveling when I was younger. So I think that was one thing people don't know, just especially being from Zeeland, Michigan.
Awesome. All right. Well, Austin, thanks so much for the time as always, and best of luck to you guys this season.
Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.